Okay, good morning, folks. Now, there's going to be a lot of information to pack in this video, so unfortunately, I can't condense it down to 60 seconds. So I do apologize for the length of this video. Anyway, so let's get on with it. Right. So after having a conversation with someone who's very close to me, I've concluded here in the UK there is a interracial dating catch 22. And it affects both sides of the gender. Okay, so from the black woman's side, it appears that there's a lot of black women who's been done wrong by black men. So therefore they're jaded and guarded, which is understandable. And on top of that, they feel let down when they see black men dating outside their race. So they don't feel protected and they don't feel a lot of black guys here in the UK have their back. And on top of that, they got to deal with the world problems in terms of sexism and racial discrimination as such. Now, this isn't a victim mentality. The ones who, the people I've been speaking to, they've got high self-esteem and a lot of drive, but they're just pointing out the truth as they see it in their lived experience. This doesn't stop them from being motivated to move forward and make improvements and so forth. So this isn't a victim mentality. Victim mentality is declaring your woes and not doing anything about it and saying, well, there's no point because the world is against me. That's a victim mentality. So now on the man side, now I'm going to speak about a particular type of black guy here. So in my conclusion, which I've mentioned in my audiobook that I'm going to be publishing, there's four types of black guys in regards to interracial dating. Number one is the guy who does not find black women attractive and he doesn't approach them at all. Bam. So let's take him out of the picture because this doesn't really apply to him. Then you got the second type. It's simply, okay, so who you meet at the time and oops, sorry about that. And it's luck of the draw. Okay. And then you got the third type, which I fall into, whereas here in the UK, he's experienced mostly, not exclusively, but mostly a warmer welcome and a warmer response from women outside his race on the most part. This does not mean he doesn't find black women attractive. This does not mean he's never dated a black woman, but in terms of numbers, he gets more attention from women outside of race. 9 times out of 10, whenever he's eyed up, smiled at, or flirted with, it's from a woman from outside of his race. And then you got number 4, I call it the isolation scenario, where he lives in the middle of the countryside, somewhere like Cornwall, and he doesn't have much access or any access to black women, but this doesn't mean he wouldn't date them if he didn't have the chance. Okay, so let's focus on number 3, which I fall into. So here's the catch-22. Both sides would prejudge each other because where I'm being used to getting a warmer response from outside of my race, that would then deduct my incentive to go after black women from my race, because if from where I'm sitting, I get a mostly cold, unwelcoming response, dear Dr. Uma, what's the incentive for me to go after that which I deem as unwelcoming? You see my point of view. You see the catch-22 here. So on the woman's side, she sees a guy like me and I remind her of the guy who's done her wrong. So she's going to be guarded and prejudgmental. I'm going to prejudge her based on the response I normally receive, and I would deem her as unapproachable. And there you have it. Catch 22 situation. How do we fix this? That's a problem. What's the solution? Solution, I think, we as a people, we need to talk to each other, have honest, open discussions about our concerns, our perception of each other, and and then also you need to separate yourselves from the bad apples in your camp. I have bad apples in my camp as a man. You women have bad apples in your camp as women. You need to separate yourselves from the bad apples and call out the bad apples. Same way with us men, we need to call out the bad apples in ours. And so at least everyone knows, well, hold on a minute, this doesn't apply to all, which doesn't anyway, but you have less of a prejudgmental outlook. Yeah. And for me, it was a bit of a journey from my teenage years. I had to do a lot of soul searching and be self-aware with my own flaws and my own problems and such, and my own mental damage, which I've experienced, which I speak in more depth in my audiobook. And also I made an apology to the innocent black women who didn't deserve my prejudice problem, horrible prejudice problem I had when I was a teenager and young man. Oh, it was awful. And I did make an apology. So it's not going to fix the solution, but it's a step in the right direction. At least if you say to somebody, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I acknowledge that I was wrong. At least it helps. You know what I mean? Anyway, so right, we're coming up to the 7-minute mark and it's getting a bit long. So folks, have a good day, and I hope this video has been of some kind of help. I'm only talking about the UK. I'm not talking about America. Situation in America is completely different to here in the UK. I don't want to elaborate too much. I've been to America 9 times, and I don't want to make this too long a video. So I'll do another video about the difference between America and the UK another time. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye.